Hello everyone, welcome to this talk on anxiety and breathing. I've put this together to help you better understand these topics and how they relate to COPD. My goal is to share tools and resources that can improve not only your anxiety and breathing, but also your overall well-being. What is anxiety? Anxiety is a natural human response when we feel worried, tense, or afraid, especially about things we think might happen in the future. It affects our thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations. It's something all of us experience to varying degrees, from mild tension to more intense feelings like panic. Symptoms of anxiety. According to NHS UK, the signs and symptoms of anxiety include feeling tired, restless or irritable, feeling shaky or trembly, dizzy or sweating more, being unable to concentrate or make decisions, trouble sleeping, worrying about the past or future, or thinking something bad will happen, tummy aches, headaches or muscle pain, dry mouth, pins and needles, and noticing your heartbeat gets stronger, faster or irregular, or you get short of breath when you start to feel anxious. Anxiety is not just a mental state. It also affects our physical bodies. Our systems constantly react to both internal and external cues. For instance, feeling short of breath can trigger anxiety, as can sudden alarming situations like a car moving fast towards us. Think about what you experience when you feel anxious. What happens in your body and in your mind? How does it affect how you react to your environment and the people around you? Causes of anxiety. Anxiety can stem from various triggers, including the current environment, past experiences, upbringing, and even temperament. Excessive intake of caffeine, sugar, and alcohol can worsen anxiety, so reducing or eliminating these from your diet is advisable. Other contributing factors can include a vitamin D deficiency and an overactive thyroid. Our brains have a hardwired negativity bias. They tend to focus more on negative information than positive information, and this is thought to be a survival adaptation from our ancestors. To counter this bias, practices like focusing on positive experiences and things that make us feel joy and safety, known as glimmers, can help. I want to take you through a simple practice that I learned from a doctor called Rick Hansen, who is a world-renowned neuropsychologist. Practiced regularly, this process can positively change the brain structures associated with anxiety. It can also serve as a resource for when you are feeling anxious or overwhelmed. Think of somebody who cares about you. It could be a pet, an individual, or a group of people in your life. Now sit for 10 to 20 seconds and feel the feelings that arise in your body as you think about them, pausing to experience the sensations. By doing this practice, you are down-regulating the fear centers in the brain and wiring pathways that allow you to notice positive experiences more readily. COPD and anxiety. Now let's discuss COPD and anxiety, as they often go hand in hand. Breathing into the mid-chest and taking short, rapid breaths sends alarm signals to the brain, triggering a fight or flight response and feelings of anxiety. When you have a chronic lung condition like COPD, you likely spend a considerable time breathing in this manner without realizing it. Have you noticed this in your own breathing? Low oxygen levels can also contribute to and even induce anxiety, so breathing patterns that support maximum oxygenation are essential for well-being. Resources for managing anxiety. Now that we've explored what anxiety is and what can cause it, let's discuss resources to help you manage it and improve your overall well-being. Anxiety can cause our world to shrink, making us avoid certain places, situations, or people. However, there are numerous tools and resources available to reduce anxiety and to help us engage with the world again, restoring confidence in ourselves and our bodies. Patience is key with these practices, as it takes time to rebalance our activated systems. Our amazing nervous system. Let me introduce you to your autonomic nervous system, ANS. This system works automatically without you having to think about it. However, you can influence it by changing how you breathe, which can affect how relaxed or how stressed you feel. The ANS controls your internal organs and keeps everything balanced based on what is happening inside and outside your body. Understanding this system helps explain why you might feel anxious and how COPD can heighten those feelings. It also shows how the tips I'm sharing can help to reduce anxiety and improve your overall well-being. Divisions of the ANS. The autonomic nervous system has 3 parts, but for our discussion, we'll focus on 2 of them. The sympathetic division, often known as the fight or flight response, prepares you for action, like waking up in the morning or responding to danger. It's also active when we're anxious. The parasympathetic division, often known as the rest and digest system, promotes relaxation and aids digestion. It also supports healing. Balancing act. A healthy nervous system uses both parts as needed. Ideally, the parasympathetic, relaxing part, should be active most of the time. If the sympathetic, active part is too dominant, it can keep you stressed. Let's discuss what happens in your body when each of these 2 parts is in control. The effects of the body when the sympathetic part is dominant are: your body breaks down sugar faster for quick energy, more blood flows to your muscles and brain, your heart rate and blood pressure rise, blood moves away from your digestive organs and skin, you breathe faster, taking in more air, your pupils dilate, getting bigger. This consumes a lot of energy and can lead to exhaustion if it's constantly activated. When the parasympathetic part is dominant, blood vessels widen, increasing blood flow to your digestive system. Your pupils constrict, they get smaller. Digestion speeds up. Your immune system and waste-eliminating organs work better. And this part promotes recovery and energy conservation. It also requires less oxygen. The vagus nerve. A crucial part of the parasympathetic system is the vagus nerve. It runs from your brain, through your neck and chest, to your abdomen, influencing digestion, heart function, and overall well-being. Activities that stimulate this nerve can reduce anxiety and improve your health. Understanding how these systems work can empower you to manage anxiety more effectively, especially in the context of COPD. Being aware of our current feelings and experiences helps us recognize when we need to calm our nervous system. Without this awareness, it's hard to notice changes in our breathing or when we're starting to feel upset. Mindfulness allows us to develop a better understanding of how our bodies and minds feel. This helps us notice early signs of discomfort before they escalate into anxiety or stress. Mindfulness means intentionally focusing our mind on something happening right now, in the present moment. It's about directing our attention to what's currently going on, without dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Breathing. Now let's delve into how breathing connects with anxiety and COPD. Managing our breath is a powerful method to rebalance our nervous system. By adjusting how we breathe, we can directly impact the system and how we feel. Think of our breath like the pedals in a car. Slowing and deepening our breath is like applying the brake, calming the fight or flight response, and activating the parasympathetic nervous system for relaxation and balance. Conversely, speeding up our breath is like pressing the accelerator, triggering the sympathetic nervous system and intensifying the fight or flight response. By becoming aware of how we feel and noticing our breathing patterns, we can consciously intervene to change our nervous system state. Our primary breathing muscle is the diaphragm, a large dome-shaped muscle between the chest and abdomen. When we inhale, it contracts and flattens, expanding the chest to draw air into the lungs. On exhale, it relaxes and returns to its dome shape, reducing the chest space to push out air. Nose breathing versus mouth breathing. Whenever possible, it's beneficial to breathe through your nose. Nose breathing offers several advantages. Nasal hair filters out particles from the air, such as pollen, dust, and other pollutants. The nose warms and adds moisture to the air you breathe, making it easier for your lungs to use. Nitric oxide is released in the nasal passages, which widens blood vessels and improves oxygen circulation throughout the body. It slows breathing down and it strengthens the diaphragm. The length of our breath affects our nervous system. An even breath, equal inhale and exhale, balances the nervous system, promoting a calm yet alert state. Inhaling briefly accelerates the heart, while exhaling slows it down. A longer inhale and shorter exhale activates the sympathetic system associated with the fight-flight response. A shorter inhale and a longer exhale activates the parasympathetic system associated with rest and digest. So we want our inhale and exhale to either be the same length if we want to feel calm yet alert, or we want our exhale to be longer if we need to bring about a greater feeling of calm. We don't want our inhale to be longer than our exhale, as this will keep us anxious. Breathing into the stomach versus the chest. Chest breathing uses muscles in your neck, shoulders, upper chest, and back to expand the upper part of your rib cage upward and outward. This type of breathing, called accessory breathing, is very common in people with COPD. Impact on mood. The way we breathe can significantly impact our mood. Breathing into the lower lungs and stomach area sends signals via the vagus nerve to the brain, signaling safety and promoting relaxation. On the other hand, chest breathing, except during intense exercise, signals threat to the brain, triggering the stress response and fear network. If this pattern persists over time, the stress response remains heightened, leading to anxiety. Therefore, slowing down the breath, particularly focusing on a longer exhale, is crucial during periods of anxiety. This technique helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation and restoring balance. COPD and breathing. The body's ability to use accessory muscles for breathing is necessary and even helpful in certain situations when we need maximal oxygen uptake, such as during exercise and when lung tissue is damaged. If oxygen is not getting through as easily, maximal chest expansion is required to deliver more air to the lungs. This happens in COPD. However, using accessory muscles instead of the diaphragm for breathing is inefficient. It requires more energy, keeps the nervous system on high alert, which can lead to anxiety. This creates a cycle. The diaphragm weakens and flattens from shallow upper chest breathing. This makes the accessory muscles work harder still. The accessory muscles, which are around the shoulder girdle and neck, become tense, causing pain, discomfort, and headaches. This then perpetuates a cycle of anxiety until it is interrupted. COPD alters lung function. This can result in some air remaining trapped in the lungs after an exhalation. A daily breathing routine focusing on strengthening the diaphragm can ease tension on accessory muscles, improve lung capacity, and reduce anxiety. Stretching to release tight accessory muscles is also beneficial in managing COPD symptoms. Cycle of anxiety and breathlessness. When breathing becomes difficult, fear and anxiety can set in. This fear triggers the type of breathing that worsens anxiety, which creates another cycle. Breathing becomes more difficult, which triggers fear and anxiety. Anxiety increases. Breathing then becomes quicker, shallower, and is focused in the mid and upper chest areas. Stress hormones are released, causing further alarm and impacting breathing even more. This cycle continues unless interrupted. To break the cycle, focus on your exhale and slow your breathing down. Orient yourself to your environment. Bring your attention to the present moment by noticing your surroundings. Use your senses to do this. What can you see around you? How does touching an object feel? Are there any sounds you can hear? And what are they? Can you smell anything? Is there a taste in your mouth? This helps to ground you in the here and the now, easing anxiety and improving breathing. Feeling safe. When we experience anxiety, especially for prolonged periods, it can affect our sense of safety. Cultivating a feeling of safety is very important during these times. Our brains can default to looking for danger and may not accurately perceive our current environment. This is where practices that bring us into the present moment, activate our parasympathetic nervous system, and help us reconnect with ourselves become incredibly valuable. Social connection. Being with others is crucial. We are biologically wired for connection. Our nervous systems naturally encourage us to interact with fellow humans. This could mean spending time with family and friends whom you enjoy being around, or joining a group, such as our breathing space groups. The window of tolerance. The window of tolerance is a term that was coined by Dan Siegel, a clinical professor of psychiatry. It helps us understand our nervous system states and identify where we are. It also assists us in figuring out what we need to do to return to our optimal zone or window of tolerance. Our window of tolerance is represented by the green section in this diagram, which depicts our optimal state, the state we ideally want to be in most of the time. Within this state, we can effectively access both reason and emotion, maintain mental engagement, and a strong connection to the world around us. During periods of anxiety, we may enter a state of hyperarousal. Here, calming down becomes challenging as our thoughts become overactive and unclear, and we experience emotional distress. Practices such as mindfulness, grounding techniques, and focused breathing are effective in helping us to return to our window of tolerance. If anxiety persists for too long, we may shift into hypoarousal. In this state, we begin to shut down emotionally and mentally, feeling depressed, lethargic, numb, and lacking motivation. To return to our window of tolerance from hypoarousal, mindfulness, breathing exercises, and physical movement are effective strategies. Strong movements. This leads me on to discussing physical movement and exercise. They are highly beneficial for managing anxiety. Running, a natural response to stress, helps complete the stress response cycle by engaging strong muscular contractions. However, modern lifestyles often inhibit this natural response, and physical health conditions, like COPD, can also pose barriers. I'm going to guide you through a simple practice involving tightening and loosening the thighs, which is effective for releasing anxiety and practicing self-regulation. Grounding and muscular contraction practice. Sitting in your chair or standing, focus on your feet making contact with the ground. Take a moment to fully experience what this feels like. Inhale deeply, drawing your breath up from the ground through your feet and lower legs. When your breath reaches your thigh muscles, contract them quite firmly. As you exhale, release the tension in your thigh muscles and allow your awareness to descend back down your legs, reconnecting with the ground again. Repeat this process 3 more times on your own. This practice can be done seated or standing and is suitable for any location. I would encourage you to practice it regularly so that it becomes a resource to draw on when you are experiencing anxiety. To conclude, people with COPD are more likely to experience anxiety. This can be due to adjusting to a chronic health condition and also the challenges it poses for breathing. To improve this, include a daily breathing practice to strengthen your diaphragm. Stretch tight muscles affected by improper breathing, and engage in activities that activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest part. While anxiety can be overwhelming, there are effective tools and resources to reduce it and improve quality of life. Working with your breath and movement are particularly powerful ways to manage anxiety. If your anxiety feels very hard to manage, even with these resources, please reach out for additional help. Talking Therapies in Northamptonshire offer cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which can help reframe thinking around anxiety. Additionally, I would recommend rebuilding your physical fitness. You can do this by attending pulmonary rehabilitation courses, which are offered at both Northampton and Kettering General Hospitals. You could also join specially designed exercise groups, like those provided by Get Up and Go, and other organizations throughout the county. These activities can also significantly improve your overall well-being.